Hey guys, Mecha-san here with a Watch Mojo, or rather Mojo Plays, top 10 video reaction. These are the top 10 biggest changes in the Assassin's Creed series. And yeah, this has gone through a lot of changes here. The biggest one, of course, is going from its more stealth, action-oriented gameplay to its massively open world RPG format here with side quests and yeah, but there's more here. I mean, the thumbnail had a picture of like was Al-Mualim, and then we had the Gorgon, which sure when they bring that up here, I'll get into that. But let's just get into it here. I mean, because I do have some input as well.
No cell signal either. Should be safe to set up. Let's get the Animus down there.
Getting rid of Desmond, they need to bring him back. I know they kind of did.
Mojo Plays. Today, we're looking at the 10 biggest changes in the Assassin's Creed series.
What the heck? How did he dodge that?
Few franchises have been having an identity crisis for this long.
Oh boy, I
we'll
say
be
identity
looking at
crisis.
all the times that Ubisoft has chopped and changed its biggest moneymaker over the many years. Crafting.
Don't touch that. One wrong move and bang, the building comes down.
Are you serious? Craft? I don't know. That was a good addition.
Here, I'll show you.
Though the shop quests in Brotherhood were perhaps the first inkling of a crafting system we got, the first true
Wasn't that bad.
crafting appeared in Revelations, in the surprisingly deep bomb system that only features in this game.
Which wasn't a bad idea in my opinion. It was very simplistic, although I really hated how you only have like two on you at all times. If you want a different one, you have to dismantle the ones you made. It's like, couldn't we have stored excess in like a chest or something?
By 3, you're hunting animals throughout the frontier,
So,
and in the newer games, you'll be harvesting
uh,
resources from all over the map in order to craft and upgrade your weapons and armor. It reached its most complex in Odyssey,
Yeah, that was
due to the sheer volume of resources needed for certain upgrades. And
yeah, that was a bit too much here. I mean, I like the crafting since you purchase permanent upgrade and such here. Like from like the jackdaw to your homestead to your weaponry. I like that. The assassins have to make do with nature here, and so yeah, that you craft a more belt here for poisons for your ammunition belt. You're even having more guns on ya, but then the upgrade system happened. Yeah.
it was simplified again in Valhalla. But plenty of fans still long for the day when you could play Assassin's Creed without having to craft anything.
Yeah.
You are looking powerful.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I prefer the crafting system. Again, the older games were better here. Like you had to craft the 3 and 4 gun holsters for Kenway here to have his pistols on his chest. That was okay. That made sense. That was cool.
Your deeds and my craftsmanship.
But you go up, and you don't ever have to switch again or anything like that.
Echoes of Mana is a mobile action
the
RPG
heck?
set in the Mana other Mana series games. Free to play on iOS
They're
and
now
Android,
sponsored?
launched globally in April and now celebrating its half-year anniversary. Recruit allies of new and past Mana series characters and event rewards Star L.
Fast travel.
Yeah, that was necessary. Okay, that was like.
Until some
Yeah.
of the most recent games, the fast travel system
Having replayed AC2?
large open
Yeah, we
worlds.
could have used a fast
It
travel
wasn't
system.
until Black Flag that the viewpoints became part of the
PC.
fast travel system, and in the most recent games,
This is one of
you're
those.
free to fast
When you get
travel
glitches like
any
those here, it's one of those moments where I'm glad I don't
else.
play
But
PC.
perhaps because Ubisoft was aiming for more realism.
Pros
in
and cons in
older
each
games,
one.
Fast travel was a lot trickier. In the first game, you could only skip the long rides throughout the kingdom once you'd already visited each city at least once. And you'd never be able to travel quickly around the cities or out of Marseille.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
2, getting between cities was baked into the story. Ezio has to go from Florence
PS3.
through the mountains to sail from Forlì to get to Venice for the first time.
We had to go to a fast travel station in each of the cities here to go from different cities. But yeah, fast travel is
Romance
something that.
options.
What's your name?
Oh
Not one you'll ever need to make use of.
no.
Pastetta, I wasn't ready. I was planning on being really charming and fun.
Ever since Assassin's Creed 2, romance has been a part of the series.
Yes.
Not only did that game
But
introduce
options?
Ezio's first love, Cristina Vespucci, but it also spent time on Altair's relationship with ex-Templar Maria Thorpe. However, it wasn't until Odyssey that romance became something the player could choose.
Which is
This was
dumb.
simply a part of the story Ubisoft wanted to tell. That's
part of the whole. That doesn't make sense here with the animus here. Like, you're not supposed to have that much of an option on who you hook up with. Like, all right, like okay, so Ezio hooked up with her over this one here, even though historically they say it was this. No, look. In fact, we know that Ezio's a playboy here. He knocked up a bunch of girls here. In fact, Clay Cormac, whatever, that guy we see his ghost here, and we saw his memory in Revelation in the Animus Island. He's a descendant of Ezio through an illegitimate, so a random woman Ezio knocked up at one point.
attempt at romance left
But-
much to be desired, however, as it boiled
Well.
down to just choosing the options marked with hearts and then going off for a one-night tryst.
Yeah, that was
Optional
dumb.
committed relationships then emerged in Valhalla, further cementing the series'
Op-
RPG status.
Sat there and came back
This is terrible.
rattled. She
Yeah,
saw
again,
the
this
land,
dialogue options, romance option, any option like this is no.
people living in
No,
Asgard.
we are reliving memories here. These things
Tailoring
happen.
missions.
His agent is around here somewhere. Find and follow him. And he'll
People
lead us
really
straight
hate
to
the tailing
France.
missions here, but
This is one change we were
Me?
so glad to see the back of when it eventually disappeared. For
Ah.
years, fans complained about the tailing missions, which reached their
yeah.
apex in Black Flag, which had dozens of the things, including one notorious mission where you're doing a tailing mission in a pirate ship through a swamp.
okay, that would be
Finally,
silly, but
Ubisoft listened and got rid of them, and we've never been happier. Though some of
I'm a mixed bag here because the tailing missions can be tedious, but they make sense. You are an assassin. Part of the information, part of the being assassin is learning about your target, hearing them out here, any bit of information, and such here, finding their locations, like where they are, where they're stationed, where their headquarters. It just feels like part of the course. It's like you want the best of being an assassin, you also get the worse or the tedious stuff that comes with it here. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'd be okay if they bring tailing missions back here. Would they be tedious, a bit annoying? Yes, but they still felt like something an assassin has to do.
them worked well enough, others were appalling, with impossible enemy placements, no hiding places, and stringent requirements for 100% safety.
They just need to,
Tailing missions
they just
go up
need
there
to
with
work on these
eavesdropping
things.
is something we hope will never return.
Let me
Oh
tell you,
god,
brother,
no, come on.
Boiling sugar is near the hottest
Is
thing on earth.
Drover...
Just a touch on the skin will stick like wood lime and burn on, leaving a terrible scar. Jesus.
Mythology.
I mean, this was a glitch in the animus here. Not really. You weren't... He didn't actually... Bayek didn't actually fight face the
Origins
gods.
toyed with Egyptian mythology with the Trials of the Gods timed missions and later the DLCs, but they were always explained as being a glitch in the Animus.
Yes.
That changed in Odyssey, however, which brought the revelation that basically the entirety of Greek mythology was real and also abandoned Isu experiments.
Yeah, I mean, it was no secret here. The various gods that were worshipped, stuff like that, were actually Isu survivors. They came before... I mean, again, nothing sells it more than the very end of AC2 here, where Ezio meets Minerva, and she explains how everything, who they are here. I'm Minerva, I was called by these names here. You also know of Juno, who was also called Jupiter, and stuff like that. And Ezio goes, "Your gods." Yeah, that's how people viewed them here. All the gods of various pantheons, they were Isu, actually Isu here. They can live for a long time, they eventually died, and people complain about these. It's like, look, the Isu literally created humanity. I mean, yeah, they had a basis. They had a basis here. Look, you can read it up here, but they made humans, crafted them to be slaves. In fact, they also made the Neanderthals as well to be a military force. If they are masters at bioengineering, clearly. So the fact that they can turn humans and make them like this, not that hard to make here. In fact, going on a little comic book lore here but even this one predates Black Flag, by the way, people. But there was a comic book storyline in which one of the persons, they find a crystal skull, that Isu artifact, and it actually altered the skeletal structure of a person here to make him look completely like a completely different person. Then, and we see Isu artifact here that can literally imprint memories of others into a host, i.e. Anastasia having the memories of Xiao Yun. How exactly the memories got into the precursor box in the first place is something they have to explain, but you get the idea here. So the fact that you have Piece of Eden that can literally, to sound cliche here, mutate humans into this, not that hard to believe. I got no problem believing that at all.
That was how the game justified sending you to fight enemies such as Medusa and the Minotaur. Valhalla pulled the same stunt, making Norse mythology also a genuine part of the Isu lore now. Though this did arguably begin back when the first game started to look at Adam and Eve and the Bible.
Exactly. Basically, all stories, everything is real. It's just the way they've been retold over the years. The truth has been twisted, which is a common theme in Assassin's Creed here, where history books tell us one thing, reality is a different story. I mean, I even liked back in the first game here, where Vidic mentioned how anyone can write a book, put anything on it. It's like, and I believe one book even mentioned that the Earth was created in 7 days. A bestseller, too. Exactly. Like, the little nuggets were there from the very first game here, so really should complain. I don't get why people are complaining now here, especially when we see everything.
Adam, I have it.
Eve.
Yep.
Sages.
Alright, this is one of the ones where I want to talk about more, but yeah, sages. This is interesting. But again, the creatures of myth being essentially bioweapons, I got no problem believing that here. It's
the eyes that mark him.
Did the Templars say why they wanted this sage?
They drew some of his blood into this small glass cube.
Like this one?
Related to the mythology, Black Flag was the first game to introduce the concept of sages.
Reincarnate.
It was getting a little stale to have it only be the Templars and Assassins, so the Sage of the Isu Aita was added as a third force acting both alongside and against the interests of both organizations. Aita was also the only sage we knew of for a while, though we'd long been introduced to the idea that some humans have more Isu DNA than others.
Yeah,
By
exactly.
Valhalla, however, all of the main characters were sages, including Ivor, Sigurd, and Basin. This was the plot contrivance Ubisoft used to go back and play through the events of Ragnarok as Ivor relived Odin's memories.
Be warned!
Yeah.
I will finish what you start.
At the same time, yeah, relive Odin's memories there. That, the way he relived them, it's like, again, what Cassandra had to go through with those Definitive Atlantis DLC, those were edited. So basically having a mystic filter placed in. I haven't played Valhalla yet, so I know about this gonna happen. So don't ask. I'm asking rhetorical. Don't answer this question, people. Do not. But what the heck is Eivor going through? What is she really seeing exactly? What sort of mystic filters is at play here? But yeah, it's like what happens with Aida here was again in AC3 here. We see the way they can survive the catastrophe. And yeah, it was again hinted at by Juno there. So the resurrection I think the resurrection process was one way here, while the Asir used a method derived from what was done with Aida. That's from what I've heard. Whispers about. It's confusing. It's confusing here until I actually play the game and start understanding things.
Combat.
Oh yeah, the combat that had to evolve. Again, having replayed AC2. Yeah, tricky.
In most of the games, combat generally involves just spamming that counter button and waiting for the kill streaks to roll in.
Which I like that.
Involved combat system, but the many
I like it.
Animations brought in, starting with Brotherhood, made it feel fun regardless.
Yeah, they should have increased that.
Get old, however,
with other weapons.
In Origins, it was completely redesigned from the ground up. It was a welcome change, and
not really.
Ubisoft to bring in far more complex and rewarding boss fights without everything having to be a long chase. Plus, the improvements to the ranged attacks were a relief. No more pressing triangle to shoot your gun or bow.
I miss the old one.
Social stealth.
Which they had removed. But yeah, social stealth was a good thing here. They had that in the first game technically here, but only can be done with the scholars and monks.
So wildly popular because it was such a massive improvement over its predecessor in every single way.
Yeah,
one
so
of the
stealth.
best things it added was the social stealth system, where Ezio can blend in with crowds of people and the various factions.
Yeah,
hire
prostitutes and voila.
It stuck around for a while too.
Should have remained,
slowly but surely falling by the wayside and disappearing.
That was terrible.
Something AC fans still lament today, and though they sort of brought it back in Valhalla, it was bare bones and almost entirely useless since guards are so easily aggroed anyway.
Yeah, and one of the complaints was that also Eivor fought against it. She didn't want to go through stealth here. She hated it, and that makes sense. She's a Viking. They're not about hiding in the shadows or blades of grass. They're all about roaring out, standing proud, and pretty much screaming, "I'm right here. Come and get me. Come and get me. Bring your armies and everything." They're all about that. Which I really hope Mirage brings that back in some fashion here. At the very least, the AC1 version.
Naval Combat.
Yeah.
Focus on our true target.
People were a little skeptical when Assassin's Creed 3 added an entire naval combat system and a string of naval side missions, and it's true that it never really fit there. But of course,
it was good.
Followed up by Black Flag, which remains the gold standard for naval combat in a video game. It was as fast as it could be, offered lots of challenge, and totally changed the franchise. But then, after Rogue, the naval combat disappeared from the series for a full 4 years.
Well,
it later
what are you
returned
gonna do?
in Odyssey, though it was simpler in ancient Greece than during the golden age of piracy.
Yeah, no
now,
cannons.
We're not sure the huge ship battles will ever return. Not with Skull and Bones on the horizon, anyway.
And you, Kali.
Yeah, and they delayed that again. Granted, this time here, the delay made sense because it's set, a week before Ragnarok will be released? Yeah, wait a month. You gotta place it at a time where none of the big AAA, highly expected games are gonna come out. Look, they should have struck while the iron was hot. A year after Black Flag, or maybe 2 years at least, after that would have been great. People would have bought it day one. Now it's been years here, delay after delay. There's been Oh boy. There has been issues here, negative criticism, and now people are gonna wait for the reviews to come in, and if they are interested in buying it, many will wait until the price goes down, it's on sale. They should have indeed released an early access thing here for the public. Like, alright, we get the game now, keep in mind we are still working on it, everything like that, but here's an early access. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, like the fact that Naval Combat, it hasn't been a thing since a while here, and it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, a lot of great historical moments here. They didn't always take place on the high seas. AC3 brought it in here as a test, since a lot of the big combat took place on the continent, on land here, with a few obviously key important naval engagements. So it was a good opportunity to test out the new Naval Combat here as well, and then completely flesh it out here with the fan save, complaints, and then implement the improved version in Black Flag when it was the prime era here, the golden age of piracy. There has to be other settings, plenty of other settings here we could have naval combat like this.
We'll play the villain.
Platforming controls.
Yeah, I really hate how the platforming controls have just...
Assassin's Creed is notorious for having controls that let you accidentally leap from tall buildings to your death.
Yeah,
so
there was
Ubisoft
issues.
A lot of iterating to fix this. The Ezio trilogy had platforming that was actually quite precise. Just remember to not always hold X, because that increases the odds of Ezio jumping where you don't want him to.
Yeah, exactly.
It was totally redesigned for Origins.
And it's just
easily climb up everything.
That was
don't have any obvious handholds.
I don't like
Odyssey
that. No.
A mandatory and divisive passive upgrade that eliminates fall damage completely, but then the platforming was made a little trickier again for Valhalla. They even added back the hated paper chasing missions.
Oh yeah, like yeah, I'm mixed bag with that one. But yeah, that was it? That was all of them? Yeah, the platform missions, the platforming and the movement, the parkour. Unity and Syndicate, especially Unity, that's when it got the best here. It's just... Unity had great here, then Syndicate came out and more simplified a bit of Unity's parkour, but... Oh, guys, right time here. So, gotta go, everyone. Thank you for watching. Tell me what you thought about this episode. Comment down below. Let's for more videos. Till next one, Mecha-san. See you guys next time.